Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a fun video. Today we're going to learn how to play all the riffs from Superunknown, the song. So yeah, don't be misled. It's not the whole album from Soundgarden. It's just the title track, Superunknown, from, of course, the album that we all know and love from the boys. And I'm milking, of course, the tuning, the DG tuning that we were on from the last guitar lesson as much as I can by doing this here. So without further ado, we're going to get right into this here. Today for tones, we are running the Neural DSP Omega Ampworks Granifier, which seems to be a pretty versatile amp sim, and I think it should work pretty well. We're of course going to start with the opening lick to this song, which is a pretty simple thing that Kim is doing, and it goes a little something like this. So that's a pretty simple lick to start with here on this G string. We're going to have our 3rd fret here, and then we're going to hammer onto the 5th fret. And then to finish that little lick, we're going to pull off of the 5th after we've hammered on. And then pull off of the 3rd to the open string. So that should be like this. So that pull off can be hard to get quick to sound out right. But of course, after that, we're going to go to this little arpeggio here with our ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string here. First finger on the 3rd fret of the G string. Then we're going to have this open B. We're going to play that. And then we're going to take that off, put our index finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, and then play that. Arpeggio. So our completed lick would be like this. And then you just do that 4 times. And that's the opening lick. Alright, next part, we're going to go into the main verse riff here. So real quick, I'm going to change my preset here to fit more with what Chris's guitar would sound like in the mix. Now that I've changed presets, we're going to go to the main riff here. And so let's see that guy real quick here. So similar fashion to our previous bit here, but with the change up in how the arpeggios are. So to start with this, we're going to start with the arpeggio. We're going to take our ring finger 5th fret of the low D here, and then we're going to pick through the 3 strings, so low D, low G, and then our usual D string here, so like this. And then we're going to switch our first finger to the 3rd fret of the D and play through that arpeggio again. So like this. And that's all there is to it. And then we're going to have a comeback of the same lick that was in the opening here. With this, we're going to be on the 3rd fret of the low G, of course, here this time. And we're going to do that same hammer on pull off pattern that we did earlier. So just like that, and then your completed lick would be like this. And that's a simple thing. And then with the same rhythm, there's also a B part. After you've played that for 24 bars, I mean, it's a pretty short little lick, so it goes a long time. You get to this one where they move up a string and play the same exact thing. So it would be like this. And then the same lick here on this D string. And then back to the main one. And then after that, we move on to the chorus here, which is a little bit of a tricky guy, but let's see that real quick, huh? Alright, so things get a little bit more complicated here on the chorus section. So we're going to have some octaves happening here. And we're going to take our middle finger and our ring finger here. We got the middle finger on the 5th fret of the low D, and then on the higher D, we've got the ring finger down on the same 5th fret to make that octave there. And we're going to play that 3 times. And then after we've done that, we're going to bring in our first finger here on this 4th fret of the G, add that in, and we're going to play all the way through to that note there. And we're going to play the same pattern again with three strums. Make sure you're not ringing out the extra strings. We don't want this open G down here, and we don't want these strings down here. Take that off, play our plain octave here, and slide down to the 3rd fret, and then play it again. And then we have this little lick here. There's a couple ways you can do it. I'll show you both ways, of course. And we're going to have this 5th fret here, and we're going to slide up to the 7th. We're going to play it twice. We'll slide back down to the 5th, and then we're going to go like this here, open string here on this G, and then do that again. So that whole thing would sound like this. And then the alternative way you can play that ending lick is you can go down to this 2nd fret on the G instead of playing this over here, so you can maintain more of the same hand position here. So that would of course be like this. And some people might find that a little easier, because that stretch might be a little easier to make than having to physically move. But of course you play that part for a while here, and then there's going to be an ending to that, which is this guy here. After you finish the chorus, it has a specific ending that goes like this. Okay, with that, all we're doing is we're just putting our finger down on the fret and then playing an arpeggio of that and the next 2 open strings. So we just do that starting on the 5th fret of the G here to the 3rd fret, 2nd fret, back to 3rd fret, and then 3rd fret of the low D, 2nd fret, and then open D. And then we get to the part of the song that's probably the hardest. After that is a little B section here after the chorus that you'll see right now. And that may not have been totally accurate. I'm having a little bit of difficulties today. My arm is not feeling too great up here, but disabled things, you know. Muscular dystrophy is a hard thing sometimes, but anyway, you know, so that is a pretty difficult part because you've got those sliding octaves and you got to jump around a little bit, and it can be pretty tough to get down. But anyway, let's break that down. So our octave here on the 6th fret, like we've talked about the low octave before, with our first finger on a fret we want here on the low D, and then the next D, putting another finger down to complete the octave. So we're on the 6th fret here, and this opens with this note here that you cut off, and so it sounds a little bit staccatoed. And then you go to the 5th fret after that. So it's like this. So there's that little bit of a delay, and then you go to the octave down here at the 3rd fret and play that, and then we go back to here, 6th, 5th, and then back to it. So it's like this. So that's where that tricky part is. with that, but the whole thing is like this. And it's getting back to that 3rd fret after you've done this part that is typically the most challenging with that. And then to end that section off, it's just a bar of nothing but strumming the 5th fret octave and then the 3rd fret octave, and that would be like this. So it might be easier to alternate pick that, especially when you're at speed like this. And then that ends with this little walk down here of 3rd fret on low D, 2nd fret to open like this. And then it goes straight back into the verse section after that. So I played that little walk down at full speed because there's not much going on there. It's just 3 notes in a 4/4 bar, so you don't really need to slow that down at all for you guys to see that. Although this section that I said with the ending of that B section after the chorus, you might want to full out pick this because it sounds more like that's what's going on anyway. But I'm sure alternate picking it is just as effective. You know, so it's whatever you're more comfortable with doing there that is going to help you out the most. So that's pretty much all of the main sections there. When we get to the bridge, we've got a little tricky number there that I will show you guys right now. And then there's, after you end that section, there's some weird like bending things happening, which means somebody might be playing this here instead of the 5th fret on the D instead of the open string so they can bend it. Not really sure. This is a little bit tricky. This is a simple little riff here to play, but it's just tricky timing wise. So what you're going to have is you're going to have this open D here and then hammer on to the 3rd fret. And then you're going to quickly go down with your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the other D here to get that octave like this. And then we're going to go to the open G here and play that a few times. Then we're going to do the same thing again and then just play the G string once. So that's a pretty simple little section there that is a little bit trickier than it may sound because it's only a few notes. There's only 4 notes. Once you practice it a little bit, you'll get that timing down. So the biggest challenge, of course, is doing that hammer on and then skipping this string here to play the next D string. That's where the challenging part is, and not hitting this open G and keeping the timing correct is where your most difficult part is going to be there. But it's really not too bad there, of course. And then you're going to go back to, you go back to the other section here with these sliding octaves, the B section, after the chorus that we used to there, because that's where the solo is playing. And then they play the chorus one more time, I think, after that. And I'm not entirely positive about that order off the top of my head, but I think it goes after the bridge. I think it goes B section with the solo, back to the chorus, and then there's a little ending that's similar to how the chorus would normally end off, but it's a little bit different. And all it is we're going to have that walking arpeggio that we had before, but it's going to start with the little lick that we're familiar with from the very beginning of the song, played on the D string here, the regular D string, and that would go like this. then there's like a weird chord played somewhere, and I think it's like this. Not positive that that is exactly the chord that's happening there, but there's some little weird higher pitched noise that happens at the very end after that lick is played, which I did slow down just because you've seen all those parts already. It's just about combining the two of those things together. And that's all the riffs to the song, and so you ought to be able to play all of the rhythm parts there to Superunknown, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that one. It's a fun video to make because that's a very fun song to play once you get into the groove of it. Really enjoy all the drony sounds and open strings and things like that. Like and subscribe, of course, if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below if you would like, and as always, click the bell to make sure you get notified when a new video is going to be out. And I will see you guys next time for another video. Have a good one.